Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the bottom rope here on TMSNX Radio, majors.net. I am Adam Hernandez. Back at it again. It's been quite a while since we've done a show. I understand that. I'm gonna try to get back into the kind of the swing of things here. As you will notice, that we are also on. We're doing some simulcasting on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Periscope. So you can catch us on those outlets as well. Our YouTube channel youtube.com/the Majors TV. It's getting quite hard remembering all of these addresses. So like I said, the Majors TV, youtube.com/the Majors TV. Catch us on Periscope, on our Twitter page at TBRcast, and our Facebook page at TMSNX. So we're at all those outlets. We're going to be uploading this, as always, to iTunes as well. But abbreviated show tonight. I want to get back into the swing of things, and we normally won't be broadcasting Friday afternoons. I just kind of wanted to run a little test of things, so I decided, why the hell not? We'll go ahead and broadcast tonight. We'll see how things go, but we'll probably start broadcasting again on Thursday nights, maybe around 6:30 p.m. We'll see how that runs, and we'll just take it from there. But a couple of things that I wanted to get to tonight pertaining to the world of professional wrestling. I wanted to go on a couple of weeks ago after the McGregor-Mayweather fight, just because it was so compelling. I thought a lot of people were kind of writing McGregor off in this one. I didn't quite know why. I never in 100 million years thought that McGregor was going to end up winning that fight. In fact, it transpired exactly the way I thought it would. I thought that, if McGregor was going to win it, it was going to happen within the first couple of rounds. That didn't happen. The longer it went on, Mayweather took advantage. He made his adjustments and ended up winning the fight via TKO. So I don't want to harken too much on that, just because that's been a couple of weeks now since that happened. I just wanted to throw my 2 cents out there, and I know we wrote about it too. It's on the website if you want to go hunt for it, themajors.net. So go ahead and catch it. If you want to see any of our past feedback on that, you can go ahead and do that. There are a couple of pro wrestling items I want to get to tonight real quick. One of the big things, though, was rumors starting to fly around that Global Force Wrestling, GFW, was Anthem, their parent company, is trying to sell them. Quote from a Sports Illustrated article was that GFW is currently hemorrhaging funds, quote unquote, and that they're not getting enough, obviously, from this new deal brokered with Pop TV, and things just aren't looking good, and things really haven't been looking good with GFW, even when it was Impact and TNA and whatever it is you want to call it. Things just haven't been good, and it's been like that for a while. We've seen back with them having problems paying their talent. They've had problems trying to find investors. They've had problems trying to, quite frankly, find owners and not only pay their talent but keep their talent. And it's been a tough road for them. I know a lot of people on the internet aren't happy with GFW. They're not happy with the way they go about doing things. They're not happy with the way they handled the Matt and Jeff Hardy situation with the broken gimmicks, and the way they're kind of keeping that going in court, not letting Matt and Jeff Hardy take that created gimmick over to the WWE fully. I mean, there's been hints of it here and there, but for the most part, they haven't been able to use it. So a lot of people are upset about that, and a lot of people aren't too happy with Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett hasn't been popular seemingly within the pro wrestling world for quite some time now. And a lot of that goes back to what happened with him, Kurt Angle, and at the time Karen Angle, who's now Karen Jarrett. And quite frankly, I don't blame any of those people. I don't blame any of the criticism that Jeff Jarrett has gotten towards him. I think, me personally, I think Jeff Jarrett is a dirtbag. But the thing with Global Force Wrestling is it doesn't really matter how people view that company. Here in the United States, it is the second biggest thing going right now behind the WWE. And there's no comparison between the two. I mean, there's WWE and then there's essentially everybody else. But closest to the WWE is, in fact, Global Force Wrestling. I mean, they have a TV deal. That's in multiple countries. I know Ring of Honor has a TV deal with their parent company in Sinclair. But to my knowledge, I believe it is Global Force Wrestling that still reaches more television sets than Ring of Honor does. The whole thing, though, with Global Force Wrestling is that, and again, no matter how many people hate it and whatnot, a healthy GFW is best for pro wrestling. And unfortunately, right now, things aren't looking very well for him. I mean, GFW, Ed Nordholm, one of the guys at Anthem, has gone to deny that Anthem is trying to find a buyer for it. And right now, the rumor is, this is really kind of a carryover from the original rumors surrounding the sale before Anthem bought him, was that WWE continues to remain interested in purchasing GFW, but it wouldn't be WWE purchasing it and running it as an independent wrestling promotion. It wouldn't be like what we saw with ECW or WCW when WWE bought those entities. What we would have here is the WWE essentially buying the tape library. I mean, WWE currently employs a lot of former TNA talent, like AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Bobby Roode is making that jump. Even some of the guys in Global Force Wrestling right now, like a Bobby Lashley or John Morrison, I think he's Johnny Impact now in GFW. I mean, all of those guys have had crossover with the WWE, and that's something that the WWE would like to put on their network. But I hesitate to think that any of this would be a good idea. And there's been some things that I've read on the internet that the WWE buying GFW, even the tape library right now, wouldn't be the best solution or the best plan of action for Vince McMahon and the rest of the WWE. Nor would it be a way to increase viewership on the WWE network, which is struggling in and of itself right now. So I think that there's still going to be a lot of moving and shaking when it comes to any potential buyer, especially the WWE, throwing their hat into the ring here, no pun intended. But as far as GFW goes, as far as that sale goes, or that rumored sale that Anthem is looking for here, I mean, we're seeing a lot of stuff here. I mean, the hemorrhaging funds obviously isn't a good isn't good to hear when you're talking about a smaller wrestling promotion like GFW that's had its problems in the past with money. We're hearing this stuff about more about their deal with Pop TV, which, based on everything that I'm hearing, isn't helping GFW a whole lot as far as them, capitalizing on making, any extra money to help their promotion. Uh, it sounds like there's, I don't want to say that there's better out there for GFW, but uh, it's it's just not a good situation. I mean, the Pop TV deal isn't improving on GFW situation right now, and it's quite frankly kind of seemingly put them in a stalemate in a status quo uh, um, format that they're currently in right now, and it's just not good. And then we're hearing all the extra stuff about Jeff Jarrett and how Ed Nordholm has given him an indefinite leave of absence, stretching back to problems he's had backstage with talent, and going back to that AAA event when Sexy Star injured the arm of Rosemary, and him kind of going off backstage when that was going on, and just the whole thing with Alberto El Patron, when it seemed he Jarrett was the only one that wanted him back, and Patron still isn't back, and it's just a big mess right now, and something that you know GFW really doesn't need. I mean, right now they're very unpopular amongst the pro wrestling crowd, especially on the internet. It doesn't seem like they're gaining any new fans. They don't tape live, which I personally think is a big problem with pro wrestling today, considering where we are with the internet and how quickly spoilers come out, even with WWE shows. I mean, you have a WWE. It seems like when Monday night comes around, or when Monday comes around, excuse me, the spoilers for Raw are there Monday morning, and the same thing goes with SmackDown on Tuesday nights. It seems like the spoilers for SmackDown are there Tuesday morning, and when you tape like what Impact and GFW does, I don't think that sets themselves up very very well for kind of that intrigue and that surprise, and something that pro wrestling has really kind of held to its own for a really long time now. That suspense and everything. I mean, I could remember back during the Monday Night Wars, when it was very very difficult and rare for spoilers to come out. So, wrestling fans were kind of sitting there, very intrigued on what was going on and surprised on what was happening. Considering, everything that we were seeing then was relatively new. Nothing was there to spoil it or anything like that. And I think that if GFW is going to be successful, then they're going to have to continue to work towards, limiting their tapings, and start doing things, closer to that original tape date. If not, try to eventually get to a live show once again. I know that's tough, and I know that it's easier said than done, especially when you're a smaller company like them. But I think essentially, if they're going to end up being successful, that's what they kind of have to work towards here. And I don't know what the deal is like in terms of that with Pop, but I mean that's another thing too. I mean, they're going to have to get on a better network as well if they're going to survive. I mean, right now the goal, the short-term goal, is obviously having some type of TV deal, and I know that was one of their problems in the past, was wondering whether or not they were going to have a TV deal at all. And and again, in today's day and age of pro wrestling, if you do not have a TV deal, you are pretty much dead in the water. Ring of Honor has been able to work around that, considering kind of their underground popularity amongst the wrestling world. I know Ring of Honor isn't too underground. I mean, but not a lot of people see it. They've tended to stay true to what they were before, and they haven't deviated too much from the original product that they've been giving wrestling fans for quite some time now. The same can't be said for GFW. I mean, we've seen plenty of changes. I used to be completely intrigued by TNA when they were called that. I thought they had some of the best wrestlers in the world. I mean, when AJ Styles was there, when Samoa Joe was there, when Petey Williams was there, I thought all of those guys were excellent, excellent performers, and they continue to be. But I always thought the downfall, or one of the downfalls with TNA slash Impact slash GFW, was when Dixie Carter decided that she was going to bring in Hulk Hogan, and Hulk Hogan decided he was going to bring in all of his people, whether it was, the Nasty Boys or Bubba the Love Sponge. I thought all of those were just simply bad moves because a lot of the guys that he brought in kind of pushed some of that good up and coming talent to the side, and it just wasn't a good situation for TNA to continue to grow and to kind of become their own entity instead of trying to rehash some of the past stuff that wrestling fans have already seen, whether it was with Hogan or the Nasty Boys. And it seemed like they kept on recycling the same old tired storylines, whether it be those NWO type of storylines, where with the Main Event Mafia and what was the other one? I can't even remember the name of it anymore, but it revolved around Jeff Hardy, and it just wasn't good. And I think that, like I said, I think that was a lot of their problem with. And quite frankly, that was the beginning of their downfall. So I thought if they would have stayed true to what they were when they originally, started, and I think that they would be much bigger, and I think that they could be offering up the WWE right now more competition. And when we look at that too, when we look at WWE in GFW, like I said earlier, there's really no comparison, but you can certainly see the lack of effect that the WWE is currently undergoing from the lack of success that GFW is giving them, or the lack of competition that the GFW is currently giving them. I've been extremely critical, these past couple of weeks when it came to the WWE and some of the storylines that they're going with, and some of the stars that they're pushing. And it's no secret too that fans just aren't buying into Roman Reigns, and I've talked about it before, and I personally don't have a problem with Roman Reigns. What I do have a problem with though is them continuing to push Roman Reigns down the throats of their fans, and I don't think that's a good plan of action going forward. I think that's going to turn a lot of people off, and I believe that if GFW was in a better situation right now, that they would be offering up, or they'd be forcing the hand of WWE to produce a better product. And you don't have to look too far for, to see an example of this working. I mean, you just have to look to the late '90s and what WCW was able to do with the Monday Night Wars. And I know it's not that, we're still. We're pretty far removed from it. I want to be fair here, but we're not too far removed from it. I mean, it's not like this happened, 30 years ago or something like that. I mean, it's much closer than one might think. But again, my point is that the WWE would be a better product right now if Global Force Wrestling was in a better position. I think the WWE would have to put their money where their mouth is in terms of some of these other guys that they're kind of half-ass pushing here, whether it be a Braun Strowman, who they build as this monster, but he's just now getting to the title picture with Brock Lesnar, and we all know what's going to happen with all of this. We know Brock Lesnar is probably going to hold on to the title, and believe me, I have no problem with Brock Lesnar. I really like Brock Lesnar. I think he's been good, and I've said it on the show before. But something that WWE has never been able to do well is put their money where their mouth is and really give these stars a push. Now, I've been impressed with what they've done with some of their other superstars here. But a guy like Braun Strowman has, it doesn't seem like they're giving him the adequate push that, that in a way that they're building his character. The same thing goes with Samoa Joe, and even on the women's side of things, Nia Jax. Again, they bill her as this monster, in the women's division. Yet they have her losing these big matches to Sasha Banks, and to me that is just it's just kind of absurd, and it's tiresome, and it's old, and how many times are we gonna have to see Sasha Banks in the title picture? I mean, she was great coming up from NXT when they had that quote unquote women's revolution happen, which kind of seemed to fizzle out quickly after it came to fruition, simply because they kept on pushing the same storyline for so long, with those little mini stables that they had with Becky Lynch and Charlotte and Sasha Banks and Team Bad and all that stuff. When they had a lot, and that's something that I will give. I'll give WWE, though, is that they've been able to really develop the women's division and get some nice talent. Hell, I think Charlotte Flair is a better performer than a lot of men on the roster. I think her in-ring ability, not to mention her mic skills, are incredible. I think Charlotte Flair is one of the best things that the WWE has going, and she would have been better suited. And this is another example too, as a heel. However, they've been messing with that as well, and brought her back as a face when they moved over to SmackDown. And again, just another mistake on WWE's part. But nobody is holding their feet to the fire in terms of competition. So, I mean, that's something that the WWE is going to be able to do free will and not suffer really any of the consequences. Now, there's been, some problems with ratings and everything like that, but, the WWE has been around for a long time where they're, I don't want to say, an institution in American television, but as far as sports entertainment goes and, in professional wrestling, there's nothing bigger. There's nothing even close to being bigger than what the WWE is. And pro wrestling certainly isn't going away in this country. I mean, pro wrestling has been part of of in some sense, sports in the United States forever now. So the whole point in all of this, though, is GFW, a healthy GFW, being best or being a good thing for pro wrestling in general, because it holds bigger companies like the WWE. It holds their feet to the fire, and it forces them to give us a better product, which quite frankly, I think they've been lacking in. And I would like to, and again, you go down the line here. You look at what they're doing with Dolph Ziggler, and kind of, in this whole gimmick of stealing other gimmicks. I mean, we've seen that before with Charlie Haas, and to me, it seems like Dolph Ziggler is probably on his way out. This isn't a sustainable gimmick that he has right now. It's not something that's going to last. It's more or less a Band-Aid for Ziggler. In terms of creative, still not really having anything long term for him, and that's quite sad, because I think Ziggler is another one of those guys too. That's a very good in ring performer. I think that he's got a lot of talent, and I think that if done the right way, he could be somebody really big, and we've seen it with them before, or we've seen it with Ziggler before in the WWE, working out and becoming a champion, but. Over the last, what was it, year or so, he's just kind of been an afterthought, and it sucks, because I think Ziggler is a guy that could really perform and really do well for the WWE if he's used in the right way. Right now, it seems like they're just using Cesaro in the right way. Teaming up with Sheamus, who I'm not really a big fan of, but it's working. I mean, he's in the title picture, and. And that's a good thing, because I think Cesaro was another guy who they were kind of wasting. So, anyways, though, that's probably going to do it for this week's edition of The Bottom Rope, episode 21. We'll be back again next week. We're looking to probably do it on Thursday, but stay tuned for that. In the meantime, you can. I got to get my music going here. In the meantime, you can check out. You can check us out on YouTube. Like I said, at the Majors TV. Excuse me, YouTube.com/the Majors TV. Check us out on Twitter at TBRcast and Facebook at TMSNX. And our website, themajors.net. So until next time, everybody, this is Ad Hernandez on with the Bottom Rope. We'll see you guys. See you guys later.